Hello once again, it is me, Mitch, and we are back with our final monthly list of this year, featuring the best PC games for December 2021. Let's take a look at what we will see in the final moments of 2021 in the PC gaming genre, as we say goodbye to this year. Without further ado, let's start with the first one. First up, ANVIL. It's an action roguelike top-down shooter game with an online co-op option. You take on the role of a vault breaker in search of alien artifacts called vaults, and fight against monsters and more in your quest. The relics you find inside vaults are used to increase the breaker's ability to survive and fight in this galaxy. Each galaxy consists of random planets and unique boss monsters. By defeating monsters and opening the vaults, you will be able to utilize the new powers for your breaker. There are over 100 randomly generated artifacts, and dozens of weapons will make every session bit different from previous sessions. The breakers enter combat with their mechanical body. They are rebuilt in ANVIL if they are destroyed during an exploration. Your breakers will gain EXP during battle that will enhance their strength and give them new powers. Overall, a very fun game to get your hands on this month. Up next, Century: Ages of Ashes. This is a free-to-play multiplayer dragon battle game. It was going to release in November 1st, but now is delayed to December. In the game, you need to master a growing roster of classes and dragons, compete in intense arena battles, and rule the skies in fast-paced aerial combats. You compete in online games ranging from 3v3 to 6v6 against other players. 3 varied game modes, Carnage, Spoils of War, and Gates of Fire, are playable right now. Carnage is a 6v6 killing spree with special power-ups appearing in the arena. It's team deathmatch, just in Dragon Rider style. In Gates of Fire mode, 2 teams clash over possession of the flag. Finally, in Spoils of War mode, you steal gold from AI creatures and the enemy team while protecting your own gold nest. Experience different playstyles with 3 unique classes, each with their own abilities. These are Wingguard, the Marauder, or Phantom. In order to keep the experience fair and equitable, in-game purchases are purely cosmetic. Battles are won by skill and teamwork alone. A must-play for all free-to-play lovers. Next, Solar Ash. It's an upcoming adventure platforming game and second game from Heart Machine, the creators of Hyper Light Drifter. In this new game, you journey through a vivid and highly stylized world filled with secrets, fast traversal, new characters, and massive enemy encounters. The player controls the main character Ray, a void runner within a black hole, through a bright neon-colored 3-dimensional landscape, avoiding obstacles and attacking enemies with a sword, as Ray tries to save her planet. The game's focus is less about combat and more on movement. As lead developer Alex Preston stated, "We're traversal first." Yes, that was the kind of vision of the game, that you control the traversal and the environment that you're moving through, especially the scale on the grandiosity of it just feeling impossibly large in as many ways as possible. The traversal absolutely takes precedence, and the combat is kind of intermingled with that traversal. We are really looking forward to this one. Next, ICARUS. Yet another game delayed from August to December of 2021. It's a session-based PvE survival game for up to 8 co-op players or solo. You explore a 64 square kilometer alien wilderness in the aftermath of terraforming gone wrong. Your goal is to survive long enough to mine exotic matter, then return to orbit to craft new items. You need to meet your deadlines or be left behind forever on the wild planet. Those that survive return to orbit as seasoned veterans, converting their materials into advanced technology and taking on even more challenging drops. On the surface, you confront and conquer a brutal player versus environment world, which is determined to wear you down with constant challenges. There are 3 skill trees to master, such as planetary tech, player talents, and orbital workshop. Preparation and planning are everything, whether it's to find a source of oxygen, stock your next meal, or stock supplies for a long journey into the wilderness. Up next, Shadow Tactics: Blades of the Shogun. It's a hardcore tactical stealth game set in Japan around the Edo period. A new shogun seizes power over Japan and enforces nationwide peace. In this battle against conspiracy and rebellion, he recruits 5 specialists with different skills for assassination, sabotage, and espionage. It has impressive missions, it is very atmospheric, and impossible to rush. There's a cute toy-like quality to the game's world, but also it's visually very good looking. In gameplay, you need to choose your approach when infiltrating castles, snowy mountain monasteries, or hidden forest camps. You set traps, poison your opponents, or completely avoid enemy contact to complete the missions. The game can be challenging at times, like where you are outnumbered 10 to 1, but there are always many ways to take out your opponents and come out on top of the situation. You can also jump from roof to roof and climb large buildings to attack the enemy from above. Players can also choose from 3 difficulty levels to match your skill. Simply, one of the best games of 2021 in its class. Up next, Halo Infinite Campaign. In this massive popular FPS, you once again play as Master Chief. Note that we are talking about the paid campaign version of Halo Infinite, not the free-to-multiplayer which was recently released. Set after the events of Halo 5, it begins similarly to the first game, with Master Chief crash landing on Zeta Halo, probably the most important ring-world installation in the game's lore. It's been months since humanity's military forces basically lost control of Zeta Halo to the Banished, a mercenary group that split off from the Alien Covenant Empire, and Master Chief is tasked with rallying the remaining human forces on the map. As the player, this means finding stray platoons around the open world who are either captured or under fire by hostile alien forces, and taking back the Halo Ring. It has an open worldish aspect, but players are always told exactly where to go to progress the story. You have an infinite supply of soldiers that respawn around the map, as well as at your conquered bases. It has few ups and downs, but it is the best looking Halo experience with a good campaign. Coming in next, After the Fall. It is a new epic VR action FPS with co-op gameplay from the creators of Arizona Sunshine. You can team up with friends and take on a VR world filled with ferocious undead zombies, mutated by the relentless cold. It is set in the ice-covered ruins of 1980s LA, nearly 20 years after the apocalypse. The game combines an evolving VR world shared with players on all platforms with co-op gameplay. Built especially for VR, the game features some cool, deadly weapons and powers with real-life movements as you develop your combat style and join forces with players worldwide as you go against hordes and giant bosses in a bid to win back the city. You can also craft and upgrade a moderate variety of weapons and powers. The world is depicted as very cold, ice-covered, and snow-breed-infested ruins of dystopian LA. You can also try its 4v4 combat for some fun multiplayer experience. Next, SYBERIA, The World Before. It's an adventure puzzle-based exploration game. You embark on a journey across continents and through time as you piece together the puzzle of life. It starts in 1937 as Dana Rose, a 17-year-old girl who is beginning a brilliant career as a pianist. However, shadows begin to appear over her future as the fascist threat of the Brown Shadow hangs over Europe at the dawn of the Second World War. In a parallel story, it also features the year 2004, where Kate Walker survives as best she can in the salt mine where she has been imprisoned, when a tragic event propels her into a new adventure in search of her identity. You play as both Kate Walker and Dana Rose as you get to the bottom of mysteries. Explore the world of Benoy Sokol with its amazing sceneries and iconic characters. You need to solve simple, sometimes complicated puzzles and riddles to proceed with the story. The soundtrack is also a highlight of this game, as it is composed by the same person who did the Fallout, Dragon Age, and Prince of Persia's in the past. Coming in next, AETERNA NOCTIS. It's a 2D, hand-drawn action platformer, a Metroidvania experience with not-so-easy combat that will keep you on the edge of your seat and intense platform sections that will put your skills to the test. The plot goes like this, that the supreme god Chaos created the world of Eternia. After populating it with different races and creatures, he appointed 2 rulers to govern them. But soon, they turned to take the world for themselves and started a war. This angered the creator, and he cursed them to keep fighting each other forever without dying. The world of AETERNA NOCTIS features a challenging difficulty system that scales progressively as the player goes through the game. It keeps you on the edge, but also resulting in a great sense of pride after completing each challenge. In a game with such a difficulty curve that scales with progression, it features responsive controls, allowing for precise movement, which is a must in this game. The player can navigate the non-linear map featuring 16 different zones, interconnected in a classic Metroidvania style. Last on this list, but not least, Final Fantasy XIV, ENDWALKER. Firstly, note that this is a DLC, so you require the base game of Final Fantasy XIV online in order to play. And yes, this is the highly anticipated 4th expansion pack for Final Fantasy XIV Online. You get to see the climax of the Hydaelyn and Zodiark story, and encounter an even greater calamity than ever before as you travel to the far reaches of the Hydaelyn and even to the moon. Few notable features of this DLC are that it raises the level cap from 80 to 90, has many new jobs, new areas like Garlemald, Thavnar, and the city of Rats at Han. Then, there are new tribes, new dungeons, new allies and districts, and also a small-scale PvP mode. If you own the base game of Final Fantasy XIV Online, then this is a must-get upgrade. On the other hand, if you don't have the base game, you can check out a review of that to decide if you are interested in it or not. And with that, we end our list of best PC games of December 2021. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to us to see more videos like this in the future. See you next time.